Good morning, I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. And for those who may not know, or may be listening or watching for the first time, this, my daily thought, is the supplement to Keeping It Real with KC, which is mostly a weekend show. And for those who also may not know, I usually start talking and then going into what my daily thought is. So I will start off by saying that this episode is the only thing I'm doing today, I guess work wise, is in, I don't want to say heavy work, but doing some type of work on Labor Day. Because for my other channel, I recorded all of my episodes yesterday, including the episode that would have been considered for today. And for those who usually watch or may be listening, I'm not wearing my usual white shirt right now because my white clothes are in the dryer. So I decided to wear this shirt and do the show because I was debating. I was like, okay, well, should I wait till all the clothes come out the dryer and then throw on the white t-shirt and then start recording, or record it now, get it done, and then have more of my day to me? Because I work usually 7 days a week, give or take, with my regular job and then also doing all of the episodes that I do for both my channels and the stuff behind the scenes with running the channels and everything else. So I made a conscious effort for a few reasons, health reasons too, to make sure that I do as little as possible on Labor Day. So this is the only thing I'm recording today. So yeah, and I had to unplug the air conditioner. Just a little backstory here. I had the air conditioning going before I started this, but I'm attempting to conserve on electricity because of the heat wave that happened, or is somewhat still happening, I guess, which it was 121 degrees here, so they say, which I will say is probably possible because yesterday in the afternoon, I was like, I had my air conditioner on and I was like, I don't know why, but it still feels a little warm around here. But I was drinking tons of water. And then I looked online and they're like, oh yeah, it was 121 degrees. It set a record and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we have the fires. The large fire is in Northern California. Then there was another fire that's in Southern California that I found out about. And it happened because somebody did a gender reveal and the pyrotectronics or whatever somehow set off that fire, which is a little bit closer to where I live, but not right at where I live. So that's going on. So sending love and positive thoughts and everything else to the firefighters who, and the first responders who are out there, and the people who are affected by that, and also the people who are affected in Northern California as well. Same thing. Wow, it's just been an interesting morning. I'll say that. And it's so weird because when I don't have anything officially planned, I hardly know what to do with myself. I know that I want to watch some movies and stuff. There's this black and white movie. I'm not going to say what movie it is because I may do it for a movie recommendation in a month or two. But there's this black and white movie that I own, because I own, for those who are listening for the first time or watching for the first time, I own over 1,000 movies. And I probably haven't seen maybe like 100 or so of them. And one of the movies that I haven't seen is this black and white movie, but I really wanted to see it. And I'm like, oh, it'll be perfect to watch on Labor Day. So that's my goal, to watch that movie today. If it's as good as I think it will be, I will definitely recommend it in the future. So I want to do that. And just a few little other things. And also rest too. I have to rest, get more rest. Yeah, it's just weird not like taking a day off. It's, yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this because we're 5 minutes in now, almost 6 minutes in. When I say we don't need to know that you're educated, this is not a dig at people who go to college. If you decide that you want to go to college, more power to you. I will root for you. I'll root for anybody that has a dream or a goal and they want to accomplish it. As long as they're not hurting anyone, I'm on the cheerleading team. I'll always root for anybody that has a dream or a goal, that has aspirations, that wants to excel in life. I don't knock people for doing that. I do need people to realize that just because you go to college doesn't mean you are smart or that you are as informed as you may think. Because it goes back to experience and being battle tested. And shameless plug, check out my episode Battle Tested. And I remember Dan Pena, who, if you're not in the foul language, don't look him up because he cusses a lot. He's a motivational speaker and also a coach. And he's a successful businessman too. And he said, do I want someone who studied 700 deals or do I want someone who's actually done 700 deals? And he said, I want the person who's done 700 deals, who has the experience. With college, everything has happened in theory. You're not battle tested until you go through life. Now, you can take what you've learned in college and use that in life and determine if the theories that you were taught in school work in certain situations in life. And you may see, well, wow, I was taught this in college, but in real life, it doesn't work out this way. Or, wow, I was taught this in college and it prepared me to deal with this situation perfectly. Everything is on a case-by-case basis. But when people go out of their way to say I'm educated, and what I'm talking about is when they have it on their profile and stuff, whether it's a dating profile, you know, it's like, oh, college educated, this, that, and everything else. It doesn't really need to, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, need to be brought up. I mean, if you bring it up in conversation, fine, whatever. I have an above average IQ. I don't put it on my profile. Have I mentioned it a few times in conversations with certain people? Yeah, which having an above average IQ is no big deal. It doesn't mean anything. But it's not something like, you know, I love walks on the beach and this and that. And my favorite dessert is blueberry cheesecake. And I have an above average IQ. What for? Is because when people do that, in some cases, it seems like they're looking for someone to validate their intelligence, if that makes sense. And I plan on doing a daily thought about validation too in the future, but not right now. What I can tell you is if you have a degree, if you're educated, go back to my episode, let your work speak for you. It's one of those things like, oh, did they go to college or what school did they go to? Let your work speak for you. Or if you're just having a random conversation, then it's like, oh, I went to UCLA. Oh, cool, I went to USC type of thing. But to put it out there, front and center, as if because you're educated, you're a cut above the rest, doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. And some might say, oh, well, that's an internal self-esteem issue, because they could say, oh, well, you're interpreting it as they're saying it that way, that they're better than someone else by putting it out there. But those are the only two things based off of my life experience that I can discern from that. Is that you're saying either one, you're a cut above the rest, or two, you're looking for someone to validate your intelligence. For one, if you're a cut above the rest, your work will speak for you. It doesn't matter whether you have a degree, whether you have a certificate in cybersecurity, whether you have this, whether you have that. If you're a cut above the rest, your work will speak for you. On the other side, if you're looking for validation, like Drea said on Basketball Wives, validation is for parking, not people. And like I said, I'll go into that on another day, not today. If you are, and there could be a third one, if you're just proud that, hey, I accomplished this and I want the world to know. Okay, I mean, great. You can, I'm not against people tooting their own horn, because I mean, if you don't root for yourself, who will? At the same time, it's not always something you want to put front and center. Sort of like if somebody is worth $25 million, they don't put it on every single check, net worth $25 million. Or they start off a conversation, you know my net worth's $25 million. Or on their profile, net worth $25 million. I look at things as trying to get to know an individual and see what they're about. Because I've met some really smart people with college degrees. I've met some really dumb people with college degrees. I've met some really nice people who are ridiculously rich, and I've met some jackasses who are ridiculously rich. And the list goes on and on. The thing that will always separate you from other people, and again, we're all individuals regardless, but the thing that separates you from other people or as an individual is your work, your actions, what you do in life. As it says, judge someone by their actions, judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. If someone is doing amazing things, then it's clear there's some type of intelligence there, whether it is traditional schooling, whether it is life schooling, or whether it is just curiosity, because you learn things through curiosity too. So I could say curiosity schooling, because life and curiosity can be two separate things to a certain degree. But you learn by the fruit the tree bears. You learn by the person's actions if they're a cut above the rest. Someone can say, I'm the number one ranked tennis player in the world. They can go around saying it to everyone. They can put it on their profile. Okay. But when they get out on the court, they're complete garbage. Or it could be the other person who isn't the number one ranked tennis player in the world, but they get out on the tennis court and they outperform someone who may have been considered the number one ranked tennis player in the world. But you learn that by their actions, by the fruit the tree bears. Announcements don't always have to be made. And when it comes to saying, well, I'm educated, okay, that's great. But where's the common sense? Where are the life lessons that you've learned being battle tested to handle a situation in life? Because life will throw situations at you. And if you're a cut above the rest, prove it. If you're looking for validation, which I hope that you aren't, but if you are looking for validation, then work hard and let that work speak for you. And don't look down on people who may not be considered traditionally schooled, and vice versa, because I've heard people look down on those who are traditionally schooled. Because some people say, well, if you go to college, the only thing you learn is how to take orders. I want people to respect each other's individuality. That's what I want. And appreciate that everyone's path in life is different, because we're all individuals. So we all go on our individual paths. And the individual paths that we go on, it's not going to be the same. So with interpreting that I'm educated, those are some of the things I pull from that. And like I said, it's not a dig at anybody with a college degree or certificates or even being life educated. Because as I said before, you can be life educated, battle tested, and learn things. It is something that is determined by the fruit that you bear, by your actions, by your work. If you want to put it on your profile, if you want to let that be the first thing that comes out of your mouth, or the second thing that comes out of your mouth. When you meet somebody, more power to you. But when I meet people, I'm not going to say I have an above average IQ, or I know about this, and that. I don't need to be validated. I know that I'm intelligent. And my work speaks for me. I don't think that I'm better than anyone else, even though I've been accused of that at times. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. So I don't come out saying certain things to be like, oh, well, I'm better. Now, when it comes to the cut above the rest, I'm amazing in my own right. As an individual, I'm an amazing individual. As for comparisons, I don't even compare to other people because they're an individual and I'm an individual. Could you compare people? Yeah, you could. And sometimes we do. Myself included, we compare singers and writers and things like that, TV shows. But still, we're all individuals. And I feel if people realize that they're amazing in their own right, that will make the world a little bit more harmonious when people see how amazing they are. Because it's kind of amazing that you're an individual and no one is like you. Out of over 7 billion people on the planet, there's no one like you. Now, can some people do the things that you do? Yeah. But there are still things about your personality, about your physical characteristics, about your life path that is specific to you. And for you to be an individual and that unique, that makes you amazing already. And if people realize that they're amazing in their own right and start using the gifts they're given and putting those gifts out and put those gifts out into the world that they've been given, I honestly believe the world would be a lot more harmonious. I really believe that. So, yeah, on the whole, I'm educated. We don't necessarily need to know that. I mean, if you want to tell us, fine, great. But we don't really need to know. All right. That is all I have. KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform. KIRWKC for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you go by the page and give a like, you'll be able to follow, see when we upload. On YouTube, KIRWKC. Feel free to subscribe, followed by the notification bell. That will let you know when I upload new videos to the YouTube channel. If you subscribe on Daily Motion, KIRWKC. Everyone who has been listening and supporting and liking and sharing and subscribing and everything else related to Keeping It Real with KC, the podcast, the videos, all of that, I really appreciate it more than you will ever know. And I sincerely mean that. And also I sincerely mean it when I say that you are amazing. You're amazing in your own right. And if you don't know that, you need to figure it out because it's true. And it's true because I said it. And those who know me and follow the show, they know I don't BS. They know I keep it real. You are amazing in your own right. So if you don't know it, you need to realize it. Be blessed.